As your project grows, similar or identical implementations might start appearing, whether across different packages you maintain locally or introduced by team members working on the same code base. That's where the DCM check-code-duplication command comes into play. Let's see how this command can help you find duplicate code. I have a Flutter application here, and if you look at it right now, it's a very simple application with a few files and folders. I do have this utils folder that contains multiple files and functions implemented, some pages and models, and so on. I also maintain two packages locally, the awesome package, and it consists of several files, and the structure package also consists of several files here. I also have written a couple of tests for my application. So for example, for utils and services and others. The first thing I want to do is I want to double check if there is any code duplication in my application. I will run DCM check code duplication command. If you prefer the shorthand, then you can use DCM cd command. All right, let's run the command. Beautiful. So after the analysis is completed, you will see that now I do actually have two functions that is detected as duplicated code. So it is interesting because when I open this utils folder, you will see that in format, I do have already a function called capitalize, and then I do have also a string which also have capitalized text, and it does almost nearly the same, even though the arguments are slightly different and the naming of the functions are slightly different, but they are almost doing the same thing. What is returning and the way that is actually defined it's pretty much similar. Therefore, as you can see, they are actually recognized as duplicated. And that's exactly what I wanted to see. All right, now that I found the code, so what I can do, I can go ahead and refactor this. Either I can go and find all the references and replace them with the other one, or maybe what we can do as of now is just to replace this with the other function that we had. Let's run the command one more time. There's no duplicate code as of now. We made this function kind of backward compatible, but it's good that we go and actually remove this completely and replace it with this one because this was completely identical. All right, now I just reverted what I have done. So I'm going to run the command one more time, and you will see that the 2 is back. But when I was in this file, you will see that I have a function called print name, and in the other file, I also had display name, which are identical almost, only the names are different. You may now ask why this one is not recognized as duplicate code. This is because the DCM check code duplication command actually have a minimum number of statements to check, and that's by default 3. So, and if you look at this one, this is in fact 2 statement, and there's no return or there is no expression bodies here in this case. So let me just show you 2 examples. Here is, for example, a return. It's the multiply function. And then here is another one that has an expression body, right? These 2 are actually recognizing or evaluating differently. So, but for this function that does not have a return or expression body, to make sure that you are at least passing the minimum number of statements, you can pass the flag statements threshold. As I said, it's 3, but you can change it to 2 and run the command. This time, you will see now that actually it recognizes both capitalized text and capitalized, as well as display name and print name. So now we have 2 duplicate code. To suppress the issue produced by the command, so what you can do, you can simply go ahead and pass the ignore comment with code duplication. If you run the command again, you will see that now you get 1. What if you want to ignore one file completely? To do that, you can go ahead and add ignore for file command code duplication on the top of the file. If you run the command again, you will see that there is no issue or no code duplication found. So that's how you can suppress the command. All right, so far I was actually checking the lib folder for code duplication. Obviously, I do have other packages here, and it would be nice if I can check all of the packages, including the lib and the 2 packages if there is any duplicate code. To do that, I'm going to just pass the dot to check every packages I have under the root of my project, both lib and all of the packages that I'm maintaining locally. And this time, if you look at the result, you will see that not only I have a duplicate code in my lib folder, but also there are others also found in the packages. So these are the other ones. And these are under the 2 packages that I'm maintaining, a structure and awesome. But sometimes you want to run this check, as I do. You have multiple packages, but you want to make sure it's actually reporting per package. This is quite helpful if you want to avoid unifying code between several packages. To do that, what you can do, you can pass the per package flag. And if you do that, you will see now the other duplicate code which we have seen in the 2 packages are now not in this report, and it's going to show only the root package, which is my Flutter application in this case. And you can do that in all of the packages one by one. Tests are also part of your code base, and it's important to check for duplicate code under the test folder as well. Now I'm going to go and actually run this command for my test folder. Beautiful. You will see that even in my test folder, I do have duplicate test use cases. The check-code-duplication command checks for the use cases that are similar. Let me show you quickly. The test, or even the test widgets, and other invocations that is marked as isTest under the hood is going to be checked. This is beautiful. Let's take a look at the result right now. So it says, now I do have a test case of check title in uppercase, 2 different tests that are identical, only description is different. This is a widget test. I do have a render homepage and another one here, which is identical. So it checks for homepage header, but the test itself is identical. Sometimes you may have a method under a class that is defined in the base class, and then you are going to use almost the similar structure on the subclass, like this one that I have. If I run the command, it's going to detect and recognize the duplicate code in this case as well. But obviously, the other one on subclass is an override, right? But still, it's the same and it's duplicated. If you want to exclude overrides to be checked for code duplication, you can pass exclude overrides. In this case, that's going to be excluded. Finally, when you run the command, you will see this nice output in the terminal. This is because by default, the command has a flag called reporter where the default value is console, but you can change it to other formats that we also support, especially if you're running this command on your CDCI platform. For example, you can have JSON, GitLab, Code Climate, or Sonar. In this case, you can get the format that is supported in your CDCI natively, and then you can make sure your PR is blocked if there is any issue from this particular command that you are running, and make sure it's fixed before you merge your PR. For more information about this command, head over to dcm.dev.